Nails, hair, hips, heels, ass, fat, lips, real, purse, full, big bills, bitch, I'm a big deal. Legs, face, eyes, thin waist, thick thighs. You, me, you, wish, new phone, who, this.
Hey bitches, it's Holland. What's good? So, in this video, I'll be continuing part 3 of my reacting to other K-pop YouTubers' unpopular opinions series and will be responding to Kermyyy'S unpopular opinions. So, without further ado, let's get into the video.
Pretty much everybody in Korean entertainment has had some type of cosmetic enhancement. I'm so tired of all these channels arguing about who is natural, who is not, who had surgery, and who didn't. It's a waste of time. It's the entertainment industry and everyone has to look beyond their best at all times. I think it's safe to assume that everybody has had some kind of cosmetic procedure done to them, especially in a country like South Korea that has such rigid standards of beauty. Cosmetic enhancements are not always surgery. There are plenty of non-invasive cosmetic procedures that mean that idols don't have to go under the knife. It's cheaper, and there's little to no recovery time. A couple injections and some good makeup will easily transform anybody, and just for the record, getting braces on your teeth counts as a cosmetic enhancement. So are you really going to deny that your fave didn't even get braces to align their teeth? Bitch, please, have several seats. Just sit there and eat your food, thanks.
I agree. I even made a video about this topic. Many companies will try to pressure idols into getting cosmetic enhancements like braces, fillers, Botox, etc. because they want their idols to look as good as possible so that their visuals attract new fans. The reason why a lot of international fans get so worked up about them getting cosmetic enhancements is because, in countries like America, getting plastic surgery and even non-invasive procedures done is seen as scandalous and such a big deal. However, in Korea, getting plastic surgery is just as common, accessible, and cheap as going to a dentist appointment.
K-pop awards lack credibility. I find K-pop award shows like the Mamas laughable and only watch now for the performances. I used to really love award shows like these, but now I realize how much of a farce they are. As soon as you tell me that they're fan-voted awards, I lose respect, because at that moment, the award ceases to be about the merit of music as an art form, and rather becomes entirely about fandom versus fandom. It's literally like the Hunger Games for K-pop fandoms. I don't think anybody in the community would deny this, not to mention all of the politics that go on behind the scenes that only takes focus further away from the music. To be honest, I would like to see more awards voted for exclusively by industry peers, like music critics, industry professionals and the idols themselves, just like the Grammys. But they won't make decisions in favor of the music integrity, will they? Because the true tea is, they don't care about music whatsoever, all they care about are high broadcast ratings, and nothing helps to boost the numbers like a good fan roar. So to all the crazy stans, may the odds be ever in your favor.
I strongly agree with this opinion. I feel like the only reason why these award shows allow fans to vote for their faves is because it makes the people that voted want to stay tuned for the awards show so that they can see if the idols they voted for actually won. And, as a result, the awards shows are able to avoid getting cancelled because the ratings are doing well because of everyone watching it.
They have their place, but wins on music shows are completely meaningless to me. Yes, they include some streams and sales data, but the majority of the time the groups that win first place only do so because their fandom bulldozed their way to number 1. Then the fans try to see it as some universal form of social proof that the music is great, when that's not what it means at all. It just means all the stans group together to push their groups over the top. There are so many critically acclaimed songs that don't win first place on music shows and so many mediocre songs that do. All I can say is if you look at the year-end charts, you'll often see songs higher on the chart than a lot of idols who won first place on music shows. You don't even know the artist, but sweetie, they outsold your fave by 2 to 1. It just further proves my point that those wins don't really matter in the grander scheme of the music industry. The only charts that matter are the official sales charts. Winning first place on M Countdown or Music Bank doesn't actually put any extra money in the companies or idols' pockets. It's just an extra promotional tool, and that's just the tea. Thank you. Next.
I also agree. Though I do feel like music show wins to help to an extent, it doesn't really mean much, so it's funny when I see K-pop stans complaining about their faves not winning when it doesn't really affect the success of the group or not. If you're going to complain about your faves not winning, complain about it during the award shows and Korean music charts because those are the only accomplishments in the K-pop industry that actually mean anything.
Here's my advice to all the crybabies who complain about Big 3 privilege. Number 1, build a bridge. Number 2, get over it. Nobody wants to hear your tired complaints about how unfair Big 3 privilege is. You can say it's unfair, but guess what? Life isn't fair. The trainee system is like the education system. Just like having a degree from a big and prestigious university will give you a massive advantage in the job market. Debuting from a prestigious entertainment company will give you a massive advantage in K-pop. That's just common sense. There's nothing unfair about it. The only people who don't understand this are the people who think that the music industry is still, cough cough, all about the music, which is total, utter bullshit. Yes, it's about the music, but true intellectuals know it's also about so many other things: branding, marketing, PR. The big companies have an advantage because, newsflash, the big companies are established and respected brands. K-pop is a rare industry where the company can be just as big a star as its talent, if not more. Go to SM Town, you can shop in the store. Go to YG, you can eat breakfast in the cafe. These companies are brands. And if your faves are underrated, it's simply because Bob and Susan and the marketing department aren't working hard enough to get people to pay attention. Thank you. Next. Oh, and just one extra thing. BTS weren't from a prominent company, but they surpassed other groups because the marketing team at Big Hit was full of ambitious marketing strategies that paid off. And it goes without saying that ARMY's was such a promotional force, it was like they were in all Big Hit's strategic marketing meetings. I'll never forget the way ARMY's promoted BTS so diligently during those years. I mean, they worked as if Big Hit was paying them a six-figure salary. But just look at all the creative marketing strategies. Look at BTS World, Armopedia, Weverse, the UNICEF Project, Bangtan TV, the fictional universe and storylines created for BTS music videos. The questionable quality of some of these projects aside, it's undeniable that Big Hit's marketing team are constantly coming up with creative ways to market and monetize BTS, so that you know who they are. Don't divert your attention and think they're more artistic than their competitors. And it worked. Claps for you.
I've already commented about Big 3 privilege in my K-pop hard to swallow pills video, but I'll say it again for the girls in the back. I do believe Big 3 privilege exists because when you debut under a prestigious company, it makes it easier for an idol to become successful because their companies have an amazing marketing team that pushes the idols into the media.
I've heard people state that K-pop in general lacks longevity, but I want to speak specifically about the songs. Let's play a little game. Try to name 5-10 K-pop songs you heard this year that you'll still be listening to 5 years from now. How about 10 years? Or 20? See my point. Many K-pop songs aren't made to stand the test of time. They're designed to deliver quick digestible entertainment that's easily disposable, like fast food. Now this isn't exclusive to K-pop, this is becoming the norm globally, but I always found it strange how the K-pop industry favored singles, EPs and mini albums over full albums. World star Beyonce even talked about this in a documentary. Notice the shock and disappointment on her face.
People don't make albums anymore. They don't make albums. They just try to sell a bunch of little quick singles and they burn out and they put out a new one and they burn out and they put out a new one. People don't even listen to a body of work anymore.
What was that? Sorry. I think we need to hear that one more time.
People don't make albums anymore. They don't make albums. They just try to sell a bunch of little quick singles and they burn out and they put out a new one and they burn out and they put out a new one. People don't even listen to a body of work anymore.
Yes, Beyonce, it's very disappointing. Yes, this is a critique of K-pop, but we can apply it to the entire global music industry. Streaming is king and social media and instant access to endless options on demand have made our attention spans shorter than ever. Many of us don't even have the patience to sit through a full album, and the majority of the albums that we do get are more like playlists than cohesive bodies of work with a beginning, middle and end. What can I say, it's sad to live in a microwave era of fast food music. Maybe I should have been born in the 70s. Anyway, good luck remembering that 80s bop in 10 years time. Sip sip.
I strongly agree with this opinion because, as social media and instant access have made our attention span shrink dramatically, many people are less inclined to want to sit through an album with more than 10 tracks. Like I heard that humans now have less attention spans than goldfish. Are we surprised? No. Are we disappointed? Yes.
Let's talk Soyeon and G-Idol on Queendom. People don't realize the performance itself was not stone cold proof of appropriation. The smoking gun was a conversation between the group members beforehand. That proves their intent was to appropriate, and for no deeper reason other than optics. No deeper meaning. No deeper message. Let's do it just because. This doesn't make me angry, it just makes me laugh. Their oversimplification of what constitutes ethnic literally made me laugh out loud. The first words that come to my mind are facile and myopic. I literally thought that entire conversation was a satirical comedy skit, and when she said ethnic hip, it was over. I spilled my tea all over the floor. Excuse me, ethnic hip? What does that even mean? This is exactly what people refer to while having discussions concerning cultural appropriation. You haven't even taken 5 minutes to learn about the cultures you want to steal. I mean borrow from. You know you need to stand out for your performance, so you lazily just take a bunch of things you brand in your mind as quote, ethnic, throw it together and call it ethnic hip. The lack of discernment and critical thinking is very entertaining to me. My gosh, you're lucky that you're in Korea, because had this been a Western artist they would have been clowned, crucified and dragged up and down social media so fast. And I would have sat back laughing at the memes and commentary sipping slow. Because it's okay for a child to simplify cultures in this way, but in this PC world, adults should know better. Here's some friendly robot frog advice. If you call yourself an artist, actually be one. Actually put genuine thoughts into your performance art like AOA did. AOA didn't use the LGBT community as a proper gimmick. Their stage explored gender conventions whilst portraying a clear message of acceptance, inclusion and empowerment. It was thoughtful and intelligent. I'm not even offended by G-Idol's naivety and childishness. Just amused. You can't make this up. I'm literally laughing while typing this. What had me most of all is that they couldn't even decide which culture they wanted to appropriate from. Africa? The Middle East? Native America? Girl, just pick one. It's clear that in this moment, you didn't give a from's nine about those cultures. You just wanted an edgy look to serve and snatch wigs. That's just the tea. It was so obvious it wasn't even subtle. That's why I'm not even offended. Just laughing. And the label ethnic hip just took it over the top for me. All I can say is thanks for my daily laugh, G-Idol. You're real ones.
They're the best of this generation. No one can stop us. Look!
And on that note, I'm heading back to the pond. Ciao.
I haven't addressed Soyeon's Queendom scandal because I honestly didn't care too much for me to make a whole video about it. Also, keep in mind that I'm someone who is mixed with Black and Latinx, two cultures that G-Idol has been inspired from. I'm not some Caucasian person, who has no experience with their culture being appropriated from, trying to speak on the behalf of people of color. So, at first, I didn't think what G-Idol was doing was cultural appropriation because the definition of cultural appropriation is someone who takes a culture, uses it, and either calls it something else, acting as if they invented it, like what Bo Derek tried to do with braids, or if they use it without respecting or crediting the original culture, like what Kim Kardashian's disrespectful ass did to the word kimono. But now, that it was revealed behind the scenes that Soyeon was disrespectful to both Native American, Arabic, and African culture, I do believe G-Idol is culturally appropriating, which is funny because G-Idol is a group of diverse members with Yuki and Shiwa because Chinese and Minnie being Thai. And, at this point, I am actually contemplating unstanning them. Okay, this is the end of the video. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And remember to stay snatched.